Hello and welcome to I Can't Believe It's Not the Mouse, the podcast all about animated features not made by Disney. I'm your host, Octaviano, and this is more of a think piece kind of thing. It's not one where I'm talking about movies specifically. Originally, I was supposed to have a guest host on this one, but our times couldn't sync up. I'm sorry to do this ahead without you, John, but I gotta be honest, this is just something where I wanted to test out my new mic, which you can see right here. And I'm sure there will always be plenty of opportunities for us to get together with something a bit better than what I was doing here. So, again, sorry we couldn't do this together. I know that's partially my fault, or mainly my fault for not suggesting something farther ahead, but I hope you understand. In any case, what I'm doing here is technically a Disney thing, so whatever, I break the rules on my show all the time, so who cares anymore. What I'm doing is top 5 worlds that I want to see in Kingdom Hearts. Whether it's in the next game, somewhere down the line, or with one of the various spin-offs that aren't really spin-offs, if we're being honest. Regardless of it, Kingdom Hearts is a very fun game series. Seeing the different worlds from Disney colliding with the Final Fantasy RPG stuff is great. And I would definitely love to see what they could do if they did something with these 5 worlds. Now, I'm not going for too many of the obvious ones. I just want to be upfront on that, mainly because I do want people to actually consider the possibilities of what you can do with Disney without just going with the usual ones. But for this first one, it is one of the easier ones, one of the ones that I think we'll get in just because it's a popular movie from recent years. I think it's definitely one that fits within the Kingdom Hearts world, and that would be Encanto. Now, if you've seen Encanto, really good movie. It's about, family getting together. It's the typical thing that works with Kingdom Hearts, which is people, opening up to each other, reuniting, and all that stuff. So I'm like, even watching the movie, I was like, yeah, this is perfect for a Kingdom Hearts world. Now, whether or not they do the movie story or an original one, I don't mind either. I kind of hope they do an original thing, just because one of the things I've noticed is that when it comes to the Kingdom Hearts world, usually the best ones are the ones where they don't follow the movie to a T. There are some that are really good that they do that with, like the Lion King world was actually a pretty fun one that followed the movie pretty well. But for me personally, I tend to enjoy the ones where they change it up a bit, especially with the most recent installment, Kingdom Hearts 3. The worlds that were better were the ones that didn't follow the movies and were kind of like sequels to their movies, versus the ones that were just doing the movie again. Which in that scenario, yeah, I would definitely see Encanto being fun in either case, just because the movie plotline is already kind of a Kingdom Hearts story anyway, so that works. I still will prefer something original, but I can see a lot of fun being done with this. I know there's various characters that they can use as allies in this world, but for me personally, I think it would be best if they just kept it to Mirabelle. And here's how I envision Mirabelle working, or Mirabelle, if I want to, don't want to be white about it. Mirabelle should definitely use all of her family members for various attacks. She'll basically be kind of like summoning them, so to speak, but she's really just calling them out, like, oh look, she's calling out, Luisa or Isabella, and they just pop out of nowhere and just do an attack for you, or for her, I guess. That would be kind of an interesting character to fight with. So essentially she'd be like a Pokemon trainer kind of character, like if you've ever played Smash, but in Kingdom Hearts. So I think that would be an interesting moveset. I imagine most of the world would be taking place in the house, because the house is a lot bigger on the inside, especially once you go into the rooms of the characters. She could have a lot of her moves centered around the house, doing things for her. Maybe it causes like this big crack in the ground and then repairs itself and stuff like that. So that would be kind of fun. Of course, once she goes outside the house, because there should be some parts that are outside the house, she loses that aspect. So she's a little more restrained outside the house, which might be a little weird, but I think it could work. And she could still summon her for a family member for the outside parts, which is why I think that it'd be kind of great if they went outside the story, just so you can utilize all the different family members. But if they want to go with the story of the movie, they could incorporate that into why she doesn't have certain moves at certain points. I don't know. I think it would be interesting. Next up, another world that I'd like to see. Weirder choice, but I would go with Hocus Pocus. Now, Hocus Pocus, of course, is a very popular Disney movie. Recently had Hocus Pocus 2, which wasn't all that great, but at the very least, it was fun to see the original actresses back. I'd really like to see this. Like, if they do Hocus Pocus as a level, they should bring back the original actresses. Again, it could be an original story. It could be a story, them recreating the first movie. I don't mind either. I would prefer the an original story, just because the second part kind of hints at, like, oh, they might be back, and this could kind of build on that, and it'd just be fun just to see Sora and the gang, like, both interacting and then occasionally fighting the Sanderson sisters. Yeah, it'd definitely be a fun level to explore, I think, and it'd even be great if there's a bit where they start singing, and it's kind of like the Little Mermaid stuff from Kingdom Hearts 2, where it's like, oh, you now have to press certain buttons and whatnot, and it's just like a mini game. Don't make the whole level just them singing, and because that was really annoying with the Little Mermaid one, though. At the very least, I would kind of get it more. But have that as just one mini game here that you can do, and just fight them. They may be some of the Heartless, but at the same time, they're kind of idiots about it, so I think the Sanderson sisters would be fun to incorporate into the Kingdom Hearts lore, so that's mainly why I want Hocus Pocus to be world in this. Going back into the animation world, I would want Gravity Falls. Now, granted, I don't think they've ever done any TV show world outside of ones that are connected to the main Disney gang, like Mickey, Donald, and Goofy. So this would be new territory for them, and it would be interesting to see them incorporate a world from their TV side. But I think Gravity Falls would be a perfect one just because of all the weird stuff that happens throughout the show. Again, it gives them an opportunity to do an original story, because you can't really just do one story. I mean, unless they decide to do the Weird Mageddon finale as it, but I kind of hope not. The main reason why I would want Gravity Falls in here is because I kind of want them to bring back something that has been lost from the original game, which is that originally you had the Disney villains as, like, the main villains throughout most of the game. Like, yeah, there was a twist with Ansem by the end of it, but, it was kind of cool to see that for most of the game your objective was against the Disney villains, and I think that would be great to bring back. Have Bill Cipher just kind of be introduced there, and then understands, like, yeah, there's all these different worlds, because, even in Gravity Falls, he knew that there was, like, different realities and whatnot, so it'd be great to have that be incorporated into this, and have Bill Cipher start off here, but then he becomes a major villain throughout it. If you don't want to have him, be the main villain, you want an original character, by all means, I'm perfectly fine with that, but I would like to see that. Like, I just want to see more attractions. Like, it's been kind of lame that Maleficent and Pete have pretty much become side characters in this, when it was a cool idea to see, like, oh wow, Maleficent, one of the big bads of Disney, as one of the big bads in this game, as well as having Pete, an assistant to her. So I would like to see that incorporated back, and I think Gravity Falls would be a great way to bring that back. Next world, definitely one of the weirdest ones I'll suggest, or if not the weirdest one that I'll suggest, Disney buying out Fox. They own a bunch of more properties. While I know there's plenty of other ones that people would probably prefer, maybe they'd like to see Planet of the Apes, maybe something Predator or Alien related, I would go with Home Alone. Now, the reason why I would go with Home Alone is that Home Alone, I mean, it's a goofy-ass thing. I mean, it's just, this kid messing around with burglars because he's left home and the burglar tried breaking into the house. So this is one where, if you want to incorporate the story of the movie, I would actually be more okay with, because I imagine that this would be a fun minigame world. With the last one, there was a minigame world with Winnie the Pooh, but it didn't really offer much. From my understanding, that's sadly going to be a thing going forward, because China's staying with Winnie the Pooh, so yeah. And even then, I'm like, oh, look, I love Pooh, and I wouldn't mind seeing them in every Kingdom Hearts game, but it would be nice to change things up a bit and have, like, a different minigame world, and I think Home Alone would be a perfect one. Maybe it starts off with Sora and the gang walking in, trying to figure out what's going on, and then boom, they get stuck in a trap or something that little Kevin McAllister has dropped for them, and they slowly have to convince him, like, oh, we're not here to steal from you, we're just traveling along, and eventually they even help him out in setting up traps for the wet bandits. Or you could have it be, instead of the wet bandits, it could be Heartless, like invading the house, and you're kind of setting up traps, and Sora is right there beating them back, and Kevin McAllister is setting up these little traps to knock him out of the way. I don't know, I think it would be a fun minigame world if implemented right, just to see that. So I think that would be a great world to explore if you're gonna do minigames. A lot of people will probably think this is the dumbest one that I chose, but I think it has potential if done right, of course. Which leads to the final world that I want to suggest, and that would be the Haunted Mansion. Not the Eddie Murphy movie, not the movie that's coming out next year, because they're coming out with another one, or maybe this year. By the time this comes up, it's already the new year. The one I want to see is the theme park ride. of course, make it its own world. But the thing about the Haunted Mansion is that it has a lot of lore even within the ride. So it'd be great to incorporate that whole thing as its own world. I think it's possible. It'd be a great way to acknowledge the Disneyland rides, because of course they already have the Pirates of the Caribbean world, but it's based on the movie. So if they wanted to do something more based on the park itself, I think that would be a great one to go all in on. The mansion is interesting. They could use a bunch of concept art that's been used for the mansion to build out the world. They can incorporate parts of the ride. They could use the lore. So I think it would be a great fleshed out world that they can explore upon. And who knows, maybe they could even have, Sora and the gang turn into ghosts for that world. We'll have a new cool, spooky Sora, Donald, Goofy design. I don't know. I think it would be a very fun one to explore. Those would be the worlds that I want. There's other ones that I would like to see. Obviously, I would like to see some Marvel or Star Wars related stuff. I don't want to go with the obvious choices. Like I said at the start of the video, I want to go with stuff that maybe people aren't thinking too much about in terms of what they could explore. So, my 5, Encanto, Hocus Pocus, Gravity Falls, Home Alone, and the Haunted Mansion theme park ride. I think all 5 could be great worlds if implemented right. I think they could all be really fun and memorable ones. Honestly, I just want Kingdom Hearts to do something interesting again. It's been a fun game series, but it's been missing that really interesting element within the story for a while now. The last one was kind of all over the place, and not that I really hated it, but I also was just kind of like, this almost feels like a parody of itself at this point. So I think it needs to be reined in a little bit, and maybe some of these worlds can help in reining it in a little bit. Maybe not, but those are the 5 worlds I wanted to talk about. Again, John, if you're listening to this, I do hope that we get to work again some other time. I just wanted to get this out, so I'm sorry if at all you feel a little hurt that I decided to do the video without you. In any case, thank you all for listening. I hope to see you again next time. Thank you for coming on today. If you enjoyed this, please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel where you'll see video versions of these podcasts. And if you just want to listen to them, there's always the option of just following the podcast on their various sites, whether it's Spotify, Podbean, or Apple Podcasts. Whatever you choose, I hope you continue enjoying these. And if you want to support me even further than that, there's always the option of Patreon. With Patreon, even just $1 will get your name on the video versions of this and on other videos that I may do outside of these podcasts. A few dollars more gets you some behind the scenes info, and as this continues to grow, you'll find that there's more perks to it. So I hope you consider supporting me through Patreon as well. In any case, again, thank you for listening, and I hope you have a wonderful day.